Ian Rapoport from NFL Network, The Insiders, talking about the Browns keeping 4 quarterbacks on their initial 53-man roster.
Right, of course, you're talking about the Cleveland Browns, and you're right, they have a starter in Deshaun Watson, should be fine for the season. They have DTR, who they really like for the future, and I would imagine view him as a potential future backup quarterback. They also have Snoop Hundley, and then, of course, they also have Jameis Winston, and I would say both of those names came up in trade conversations. Jameis obviously would be a different conversation because he's making a lot more money. Snoop Hundley would be a little more of a sort of lower signing, a team looking to add a backup quarterback. I wondered if that would make sense for the Minnesota Vikings. Did not end up happening. But for the Cleveland Browns, I would expect them to have at some point 3 quarterbacks. We just don't know for sure who it's going to be. And you're right, guys, there are plenty of time to shape the roster. Probably not going to start with 4. But even if they do, it would sort of make sense because guys do get injured. Teams do have needs for quarterback. If this is a real asset they could have, get in a potential trade, then they should probably just keep him and wait because injuries are unfortunately going to happen.
Well, and this comes from Jordan Schultz today. Browns never discussed trading or moving on from Jameis Winston. Cleveland is expected to make a QB move today, but it will not involve Winston. Jordan Schultz, again, that's pretty well-sourced national NFL guy, so I tend to believe that. I also tend to believe they're talking, and Andrew Berry's sharp enough, he's going to tell them, we love all of these guys, so we don't want to move on from DTR. We don't want to move on from Jameis. We don't want to move on from Snoop Huntley. You never sell an asset short when you potentially might be moving on from it.
Well, the quarterback situation is really interesting, right? So they played 5 last year. Now they got 4 guys who can really play, and I really believe those 4 guys can play. I'm actually on a mountain alone, I think, sometimes with Huntley. I'm a big Huntley fan, not because I think he's better than DTR. I think DTR has a bright future. But I think the Browns are in a win-now situation. I think Huntley gives them more flexibility down in the red zone, maybe some quarterback run play. I think you don't have to change whatsoever. Though DTR has been very, very impressive to me, both in the games, but more importantly at practice. So I see why they're high on DTR. I'm more talking about this year and more talking specifically about the quarterback run game in the red zone. However, it's you got to think that these guys are an asset, and they're going to need getting rid of their tailback situation is something they might have to address. I thought Foreman was a great fit. Maybe he's not. Maybe they do plan on bringing him back. I've heard some reports of that. So they have to get some depth at certain positions, but that quarterback position gives them some flexibility for sure.
Yeah, and actually, frequent viewers will know I'm with you. I prefer Huntley to DTR. I think DTR is a developmental guy, but again, I'm not sure. Preseason is very different than regular season. If I got to win a regular season game right now, I'm more comfortable with Huntley than DTR. I just am. But we'll see if somebody offers them. The other thing could be somebody looks at those two and views this guy fits better and offers you a higher, a more valuable asset. We'll leave it at that.